What is up, social media world? I hope this video finds you well. Look at me doing this exact thing that I said I would never do, and go make a video for social media about Primerica. So, normally you wouldn't catch me making videos, going online, trying to explain myself or trying to defend Primerica. But things are just getting out of hand. Unfortunately, back in my day when I was young, the regular media, TV, radio, that's where people went for information, and oftentimes it wasn't accurate information. So with that being said, I've noticed that there's a trend right now through social media platforms where Primerica is a big company. We're recruiting all the time, so a lot of the times people who hear about Primerica for the first time, first thing they do, they go to YouTube or they go to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to try to go get information about Primerica. So I'm gonna try to give you my least biased opinion about Primerica. Now, obviously, as you can tell, I'm a representative of Primerica, so I know that whatever I say might not sound unbiased, but just don't tune me out, hear me out, all right? So I want to address some questions that people have on social medias. So the first question most people have is Primerica a scam? Well, the answer is no, obviously. As we may know, scams are illegal. You go to jail for that, right? And Primerica is a publicly traded company, so that means we trade in the New York Stock Exchange. Since we're in the field of finances, we're regulated by FINRA and the SEC. So if you don't know what FINRA or SEC is, I suggest that you go look into it. Those are some people you don't want to mess with, okay? They'll put you in jail if you're out there doing something you're not supposed to do, okay? Second question is Primerica a multi-level marketing company? And also the answer is no. In an essence, every business is a multi-level business, but a multi-level marketing company is more like companies that recruit and profit from recruiting. For example, if a company recruits you into their business model and they make most of their money with internal consumption, meaning if you want to be an active representative of this company, you gotta purchase X amount of products every month. Whether you sell them or not, you have to buy them. Well, you want to stay away from this type of companies, because what these companies do is they thrive in internal consumption. And a lot of the times the representatives are left with the short end of the stick because they have a bunch of products on shelves that they're not able to sell. And these companies, if you don't make your monthly purchase, they terminate you. You're no longer active, right? So Primerica is not a multi-level marketing company. Like if I recruit somebody, none of that money goes to me. That money goes to state fees, so they go to the state, a background check, and a support system needed to run your Primerica business. Third question is Primerica a pyramid scheme? The answer is no. Pyramid schemes are illegal. Oftentimes people confuse multi-level marketing with a pyramid scheme. Well, Primerica is neither, right? So I guess the question is, or maybe not the question, but in order for you to understand Primerica, there's a few things that you need to understand. So number one, for all you viewers, right, you gotta understand that we have no control. You as an individual have no control of another individual's human nature or human habit of quitting everything that they start. So let's say, for example, if you think about a gym, it's full in January. By March, April, these gyms are practically empty, because it's human nature to quit. A lot of the times when things get a little hard, people tend to quit everything. Now, you think about colleges, the freshman class is a lot bigger than the senior. There's a reason, because there's so many people who start things but they don't finish, they quit. Military, police academies, firefighters academy, etc., etc. It's the same thing, and you have no control of other people's quitting habit. Second thing you want to understand is most people don't like accountability. right? So when things don't go your way, it's so much so much easier to deflect responsibility. If you don't succeed at something, it is human nature to say, oh, I had a bad leader, I worked for a bad company, or like blame, 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 blame. But what people don't realize is that the moment you give or you blame other people, you're giving them the power to fix your life, when in reality you should be thinking, okay, this is what I did right, this is what I did wrong, this is the reason why it didn't work out for me, maybe I need to adjust. See, there's power in taking responsibility, there's power in having accountability. If it was up to us, myself included, we would like to be left alone to do whatever we want whenever we want to do it, without anybody holding us accountable, without anybody saying anything. So again, there's many people that don't succeed in Primerica, and they blame everybody except the person in the mirror. So, but it's not just Primerica, it's business, college, everything, all right? So you guys get the point, right? Third thing, probably the biggest one, most people don't have goals. Most people have wishes. And, in order for people to accomplish their goals, they need to have a detailed, established plan and lots of action behind that plan to accomplish those goals. So if you don't have a plan written down and a strategy and all that, then your wishes are just wishes. They're not goals. Because somebody here in the video could argue with me, Jay, well, I have a lot of goals. If you don't have a plan behind those goals, a plan of action, they're not goals, they're just wishes, and most likely they're not gonna come to pass. You see, it's desire with a plan and a lot of action that comes reality, not wishes, right? So now with that being said, so what is Primerica then? And why do so many people complain about it? Why do so many people say it's a scam or something or whatever? Well, Primerica is a business model, okay? It's a business model company. It's not a job. So if anybody tells you that Primerica is a job, they're misrepresenting the company. Primerica is not a job. It's a business opportunity. So every business requires 6 things to be successful, and not just Primerica. So I'll tell you those what those 6 things are, right? So yes, I made my notes. I don't want to just be talking and not have a point. So number 1, you need money to start a business. But like I mentioned previously, the money that you pay to join Primerica, that money doesn't go to me. I make 0 cents from you joining the Primerica business. So you need the money for the licenses, for the background check. And the reason why we don't pay for that, a lot of the times people ask, like, well, why do I have to pay anything to join? Well, because it's a state requirement. The license is a state requirement. If once you get licensed with the state, you decide to not work with us, well, you can go to any other financial company that requires the same licenses. So in other words, we don't want to pay just for you to go work with the competition, right? Because if you leave, you get to take your license with you. Now, that's what you need, the money to start the Primerica business. Now, number 2, every business needs a location. Well, we have a beautiful office. I'm out here in the patio. I was having lunch and just decided to do this video. So we have a beautiful office here where my new representatives, they don't have to pay to have a location. As opposed to in the real estate, you go get a real estate license, you become an agent, you gotta pay that broker to be in his office. With us, you don't have to do that. You can be one of my representatives, you can be licensed representative, and you don't have to pay me a single dime to work out of my office. Now, most people who reach a higher level, I do like to put a little bit more responsibility on them. Like, hey, listen, this is what it feels like to be a business owner. This is what it feels like to take ownership. And maybe they'll pay me a little rent here, a little rent there. But again, I don't charge my representatives rent to come and work and here and build a business. Now, the third thing that you do or that you need is you need permits or you need licenses to run a successful business. When you're dealing with the general public, most of the time you're gonna need permits, you're gonna need licenses. Well, the 124 that people join, or depending what state you are in, it is precisely to pay for those, part of that money goes to those licenses. All right, now after you got that, the 4th thing you're gonna need a product or you're gonna need a service to market. See, this is another thing that is very different from a multi-level marketing company. When you're buying tangible products, it's like you gotta be spending this money and then you gotta re-up. And what if you buy too much of this and it's not selling? Now you gotta go spend some more money and buy something that is selling. Well, with us, you don't have to worry about that because this is your inventory right here. You're providing a service. The more you learn, the more money you're gonna make, the better equipped you're gonna be. Now, the fifth thing that you need to run a successful business, you need clients. You need clients to offer your services to. And the sixth thing, you need staff. You need agents to offer your services to your clients. And that is what makes it a business. So with that being said, let's talk about the other most popular question. Well, why do I have to refer friends and family? Well, for several reasons. Like, I personally would not let one of my new representatives train or practice with my clients. I mean, they don't have a relationship, and finances is such a sensitive topic. So the purpose of having having you train with your war market, well, it's very simple. Even if you're licensed already, nobody's a prophet in their own land. You're not going to be able to go close your friends and family. You want to teach them about finances and you still owe them money. And one thing that you got to understand is that you're never alone training with them. You always have a professional with you that's giving you the training. Second, you, the trainee, the new representative, you might be the only shot your friends and family have at actually sitting down with a professional. Because one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to say, hey, this is great information, thank you, we're not interested. Hey, fair, no worries, thank you for the training, and the representative gets pretty good training. Or they can say something like, man, how come we didn't learn this in school? Why is there no financial education? If I had learned this stuff years ago, I would be in a completely different financial situation, right? So another thing is, most people, well, all people need what we do. Well, how do I know? Are we gonna die one day? Absolutely we are. We need a life insurance. Is there a risk that we might live a little too long and we're physically not able to work? Yeah, I mean, that could happen too. And unless we want to depend on the government or we want to depend on our kids, we better have some sort of retirement savings. And the last thing is, if your friends and family are gonna have these products either way, who better than you, who actually cares about them, to be their agent, to be their representative? Listen, there's so many financial companies out there, so many products out there that most agents, they're not gonna care about your family and friends as much as you do. You know what they're gonna care about? Commissions. How much money can I make? Right? So that's why you are the one who's supposed to be sitting with your friends and family. But it's also your responsibility to get well educated, to learn, so you yourself can feel confident that what you're doing is the right thing for your friends and family. Now picture if you were to open a restaurant, a nail shop, a mechanic shop. Who's the first people that you're gonna tell about your new business? Right, your friends and family, right? So this model here is no different. And listen, everything revolves around money. When you leave your house, you're out to make money, you're out to spend money, one or the other. When people can't sleep at night, it's either money problems or health problems. And it's usually money problems that lead to health problems, right? So another thing is, common question is like, Jay, you can't tell me that everybody in Primerica is good. Well, you're right. I mean, we have 150,000 plus representatives. You can't say that everybody is a good person. But let me tell you something. Those people don't last here, because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything else. And we have regulations. Us, the vice presidents, which we're constantly checking the quality of business of our agents, and we're able to see, are they just trying to generate a commission, or are they just or are they really doing what's right, the right thing for the clients? Your friends and family are going to have these products regardless. But here's the thing, a good agent with a bad product can still hurt the consumer, but a bad agent with a good product can still benefit the consumer in one way or another. But don't believe I'm saying, oh, Jay, so just because you think Primerica is a good company, you can allow to have bad agents? No. There are people out there who misrepresent or abuse the Primerica opportunity. And it is my responsibility as a vice president that if I find out that somebody's abusing or misrepresenting Primerica, they're not going to be in the team for very long, okay? And you will know people, You just know, because like I mentioned earlier, the way they do one thing is the way you do everything else. You're able to spot them, especially when you've been in the business for 11 years like I have been. I look for people's character, not their sales skills. I want to know what's in their heart, right? So another thing that somebody told me one time is like Jay, if you believe in Primerica so much, if you love Primerica so much, how come I've never see vice presidents or people who are actually successful in Primerica defending the name of Primerica in social media? Well, I'll give you my reason. I don't know why anybody else does, stays away from it, but I'll give you my reason. One thing that you got to understand, streamers, influencers, all these people, right? They make their money based on the views and the reproductions and the popularity and comments of their videos, not necessarily on the facts, okay? So a lot of the times what these streamers do is they'll go say something outrageous, something that is a complete lie, and then people, they engage and they're fighting and they're replaying these videos and they're fighting. And so one thing that I do is I refuse to make this unethical people money by me engaging with their audience, by me engaging with negative people that don't know nothing about nothing. Listen, life's lowest level of knowledge is rejecting that which you know nothing about. So I see all these videos, I see them all the time. I'm like, it sucks, it bothers me that they're there, but again, people are people, so that's why you're never gonna catch me. Now, if somebody wants to argue with me in Primerica, they better argue in my channel, in my video. Well, I'll fight with you all day long if you want to, right? But the reality is that Primerica is a very, very common sense company, solely based on commission. Your income is solely based on your efforts. The more you learn, the more clients you help, the more money you're gonna make. So out of everybody that gets recruited into Primerica, not everybody is going to be successful. Anybody can win in Primerica, but not everybody will win. So if you're considering Primerica and you got discouraged because someone had said something negative, hopefully you find this video helpful. Hopefully I was as objective as I could be, because I promise you one thing: if we take Primerica out of the equation and we put something like, I don't know, ABC Financial Services, everything that I just told you applies, because it's not necessarily about the company, but people's habits. Most people today, this is what they want to do. They want to be either thieves, gamblers. So thief, a lot of people out there today, they want to get something for nothing. A lot of people are gamblers. They want to put in very little work and get a lot in return. And then there are people who they're very clear on what they want. This is what I want, this is what I'm willing to pay, this is the sacrifices I'm willing to make, and if this company can make all those efforts count, I'm just gonna go get it done. So you see, it's human nature, it's not Primerica. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video, hopefully I was able to help you. These videos are going to be obviously in my channels. You can reach out to me if you have more information, if you want more information, if there's something that wasn't very clear, just reach out to me. Like, now I do have a lot of agents, so I stay busy a lot, hence why I don't make many videos anymore, but I'm always here to help. And don't worry about me trying to recruit you or trying to close a deal. I'm a professional, and I'm very, very happy to just be able to answer your questions. So again, hopefully this video found you well, and hopefully this video serves you. You guys have a great day.